Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 23. So I am recording this episode a couple hours after you guys saw the last episode. Obviously, I want to get through the rest of the season sim just because I am very excited to see how this team finishes off the year, considering we are still the best team in baseball at 68-40. It's very interesting to see if we're actually going to finish as the top team, as there is one other team that's been really good like us, that being the New York Yankees. There's a couple other teams at like 60 wins, but we are by far the best team currently in the league. If we go to team rankings, you can see right now we are technically the fourth best in terms of like batting average and all that. If we go to like runs, we are the second best offensive team, only behind the Yankees. We are up there like doubles and all that type of thing, but where we are not still super good at is team ERA, but I don't think it's a huge problem at the moment, because if you scroll down to this list, you can see the Yankees, who are also up with us, are 9th in ERA, so they haven't been necessarily the best at pitching either. We're at 15th, so if we could get that to improve a little bit even, I think we're still in a pretty good spot nonetheless. But yeah, I'm very excited just to see what this team does the rest of the way. Also, why I'm pre-recording this episode is because literally the day I'm recording this, which is Wednesday, Starfield comes out on Thursday, and I'm gonna be literally playing that game nonstop. So I want to have just all these videos like kind of scheduled out through the rest of this week, just because I want to be able to just soak in that game completely. So anyways, that's why I am recording this way ahead of time. But anyways, before we get into simulating the rest of year 13, I do have one comment to go over, and that's from Nick Bacher-Barons OC, who says, players that need that base of 65 to 99 to have guaranteed C potential minimum, always pick the 65 to 99 potential over the 50 to 92. Example, Byler, who was trash. I guess we went with more guys that were 50 to 92 and not 65 to 99. I don't think there was a lot of them at the stages that I was picking in, if I'm not mistaken. I guess I was looking for those high 99 potential kind of guys, but I didn't see really any. There was probably a few that I missed out on, but that is okay. I think we had still an okay draft. I know Nick said this draft, other than our first two picks, was pretty trash. I would kind of agree. I think Gonzalez, even though he's a 63 and only 64 potential, I think he might be able to outgrow that, which I'm hoping is the case. Burt Burks is just a project player, but it's going to take a little bit of time to develop him into being our third baseman probably for the future. Larry Hendricks is a long shot, but at least he's another project. Biggs is probably the worst player we drafted, but who knows, maybe he's able to outgrow this potential as well. And yeah, very happy with the first two picks. So Davies, obviously, he's not going to be the most insane pitcher, but he's still going to help fill out our depth likely once he gets to the majors. And Fontenette's a very exciting one for me, just because with Garth Howe getting up there in age, we needed to have kind of guys that could take over that role down the road. We already have a couple, though, like Osuna, for example, but Fontenette might be that next type of guy. So anyways, those were the comments I got in last episode. So let's see where we are calendar-wise. We are at the end of August almost, or well, early August, I should say, in this. We might as well go this entire month and see how we do in this month in the MLB. And then obviously we need to do our September call-ups, which I think I already know who I'm wanting to call up for September call-ups, permitted they do not get injured. The first one is Pete Tavares, because Pete Tavares, you can see he's been insanely good in AAA right now, and he has never had a shot in the majors. He has really good strikeouts per 9. His walks per 9 is great. His home runs per 9 is pretty solid. His hits per 9 is pretty solid. So he should be a good reliever to have in our bullpen for the playoffs. So I think he'll likely be a September call-up. And in our other one, I would probably want to go to somebody that's more of a batter. So I might be going back to Brad Thornton again, just because I think we need to have a depth kind of catcher just in case something happens to Sixto. So I think Brad Thornton might be the other guy that gets called up. There is like Johannes Berg and all that, but I don't really know if I'm going to call up those type of guys. One guy that's been really good in AAA this season, which we'll find out as well once we get to the end of the AAA season, is Shartner. Brady Shartner is going to be a great player for us. He's developing really well. He's having a great season in AAA. He only has C potential, but he should be up into the B potential range next season, my guess, with our potential changes. But he's been a great machine so far, and yeah, I'm really excited once he gets to the major league level. Obviously, it'd be nice to get that vision and discipline even higher than it currently is. It's already really solid, but if he gets that up there and he gets that contact hitting way up there, this guy will definitely be like a second or third baseman for us, because we could always change him over to a third base, even though he doesn't have that as a position, but that might not be a bad option for him because he does have the arm. So there is that, and yeah, let's get into seeing how this team does the rest of the way. We should be a playoff team, as long as we don't fall off a cliff, and we do not sustain any huge injuries, which we haven't really had one yet this season. We did have a couple early on, but they didn't really hold us back, so I'm hoping that this is a good month for this team and that we can easily get ourselves into the playoffs. And then hopefully once we're in the playoffs, we can make some noise, get at least to the ALCS like we have the last 2 years. But I want a World Series this year. I think that's the goal, and it should be the goal pretty much every year that we have this team like this, because this team is raking right now and we need them to keep on raking pretty much. So let's go to the 30th and see how we do. Hopefully, actually, let's go a week at a time. Let's take it a little bit slower because I do not want to risk anything going wrong with this team. There's 2 more wins, and Soto has been injured for only a day or two. Let's just go keep active on that. And now he's back. Let's go. Let me go place on bench for a second. We've won 4 straight games to start this month, which is a great sign. Let me see. Soto was double or triple? He was triple. Was he a starter, though? I don't remember. No, he wasn't a starter anyways, so that doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, good start to this month, which is nice, because we want to win, and we want to make the playoffs, obviously, which we likely are going to be doing, because we're 75-42. We almost have as much wins as all of last season. So that is really good, because last season, I think we finished with 80-something wins, like 86 wins, if I remember right. I honestly can't remember, but we are definitely closing in on having our best season of this entire franchise mode. And our defense and power is apparently improving, which is great. So let's go another week, see how we do during this week, and we win every single game. Holy crap. We're 81-42 now, and we're 9-1 in our last 10 games. We literally better win the World Series this year, because if we do not win the World Series, this would be a colossal failure. Because the way we're playing right now is crazy good. 81 wins. There is a realistic shot at 100 wins this year. We need 19 more of them. And we still have another month or so. There's a realistic shot we hit 100 wins. A realistic shot, unless something falls off completely. But 100 wins would be amazing, considering we used to have seasons early in this franchise mode where we had 100 losses, I think, around. So let's go another week, see how we do this week. Steiner's been injured for a day or two. Let's go keep active for now. At least it's only a day or two. Let's go place on bench and let's stop the sim. Put him back in. That kind of scared me. I thought he was going to be injured long term. Okay, so we got to put him back in for... Where is it? Where is the Bill? Bill O'Donnell. There he is. We'll take out Bill O'Donnell again. Actually, this doesn't really matter too much. There we go. Because Bill is good, but he's going to be more of a bench option for us right now. I'm glad that was only a day or two, because if that was long term, I would have been mad. Holy crap, 86 wins now. I think we're going to hit 100 wins. Unless we just like drop like 10 straight games. We are cruising. Absolutely cruising. Here in August. And then we have like all of September to go through, which is awesome. I love this right now. This team is doing great. There we go. So August has ended. That means we need to focus on double and triple A. But 89-45. Where are we now in terms of the best team in the league? How is the Yankees compared to us? Because that was the only team close to us. 78-57. We're the only team in 80 wins. And we're actually almost in 90. We have a 664 win percentage, which it currently, let's actually go there, is way better than every other team. We're almost a full 10% better than the next closest team. We're at 66 win percentage. They're at 57.8 technically. Wow. Yeah, this better be the year. This better be the year, because if it isn't, I will not be really happy. But I mean, I love this right now. It's just awesome seeing this team going from nothing to something. Okay, September call-ups. We got to do that. So we got to call up 2 players. So we'll call up Pete Tavares. We might actually have to sign some players for the for AAA just because we're calling up players. So we'll call up Pete Tavares as one of the options. And we will also call up, I think it's going to be Brad Thornton, even though Todd Davies is outgrowing him. 1751. Yeah, I like that home run count from Brad Thornton. So, yeah, Brad Thornton, you're going to come back up here for the rest of the season. Perfect. Do I need to sign anybody for AAA and stuff like that? Well, I guess we'll find out in a little bit. But let's focus in on AA and see how they finished their season. They're doing okay so far. AAA, not so much. But let's see how the young guys finish off their season. Let's see. Let's get a couple players signed for triple, I think. Unless I could move some players from double to triple and that'll help it. I could move Segura to triple. Let's just move him to triple as a fail-safe and see if that has enough. Okay, so I guess I will have to sign one player. That's okay. That's okay. Actually, I don't even have the budget, though, to sign anybody, don't I? Or maybe I do now. Let's just sign the worst overall player. Can I sign him? I cannot afford the contract. Oh, my goodness. I might have to go auto-fix on that. I might have to go auto-fix lineups. Let's see again. Let's just go auto-fix lineups, yeah. There you go. Did that fix the problem? Probably. Let's just make sure our MLB team is the same because that's the most important thing. Holy crap, we have flames throughout our entire pitching rotation. That's amazing. That is amazing. Exactly what we need. I love it. Let me just make sure we got our right guys still called up. Yes, we do. That's good. That's good. We won our game against Detroit. Nice. Okay, let's go a week. And okay, so AAA win, or yeah, AA winning a decent amount of games. AAA not so much, and our MLB team winning a lot of games. We're almost at 100 wins. We should probably just focus right now on the MLB for the next few games just to see if they hit 100 wins. So we got a tough series against the Yankees coming up, so that's the other good team. The question is, what are we gonna do to the next best team? Let's get through this game against the Astros. Aha! That's not what I wanted. No, game. No. Trevino has been injured for 1 to 2 months. Let me go auto on that, but that is a major loss at second base. I knew this game would give me something. Trevino's been great this year, too. Fractured hand. We do need to call up a player. Should I add Brady Shartner to our third, what is it, our roster? You know what? I think it might be time for Shartner already to get into our roster, in a way. Because I don't think anybody else is ready to take that second base spot. I mean, Chu could play second base right now, but who's going to be the call-up? We could always use Chu as second base. You know what? I might actually just use Chu as second base. But we need to call up another player. We need to call up another player. Who is it going to be? Not really sold on most of these guys down there. So it's like, I might have to just call up another pitcher at this point. Or do I even need to call up anybody? And let's just leave it for now and see if I actually do have to still call up another player. Let me actually address our lineup because we didn't do that. So Michael Chu, you're going to be playing second base. Not as good for sure as Trevino, but you're our only option right now, or I would call up Shartner, to be honest. I could actually put Pedro Carrillo in that spot, but I'm going to go with Chu instead because Chu needs a big spot to open up his playing ability a little bit. I also do like his contact hitting a bit better than Carrillo's. So there we go. Michael Chu's getting a big chance. Well, that sucks. I knew they would give us a big injury at some point. Now we have a 4-game series with the Yankees. How are we going to do in this? We need to call up a player. So I guess we will call up another pitcher. Which means I will have to call up... I could call up Johnny Almond, but I don't think he's on our 40-man yet. He's not. Who is our best player on our 40-man that is not in the majors? Ron Francisco. He's been actually pretty good. So you know what? We're going to call up Ron Francisco as the other one. There we go. Let's go through these games. Oh man, we only could have 14 players on our 14 pitchers on our roster. Oh boy. Well, maybe I should have taken better note of that. God damn. I guess I'll have to send down him again. Which is Ron Francisco, we said? Yeah, it's Ron Francisco. Yeah, go back to AAA, man, and we'll have to call up an actual roster player that's like infield. Or outfield, I guess, for that matter. Which, there's only William Halpern. And there's also Kurt Kellenberger. Actually, is he on our 40-man, though? Is Kellenberger on our 40-man? I don't think so. The only guy that's not a pitcher on a 40-man is Halpern and Berg. I guess Johannes Berg would make sense. Let's bring on Johannes Berg. Welcome back up, Johannes. So there you go. Johannes Berg gets called up because of that injury. Let's auto-fix lineups on that. Oh my goodness. What the hell, game? Oh my goodness. This episode's a roller coaster of emotions. We were doing so good. Now we suffered 2 injuries for 1 to 2 months right near the end of the season. Holy shit, man. Well, that is annoying. Let's go auto on that. And we're going to have to call up another player from the minors. Holy crap. And those guys might not return before the playoffs and stuff. Or, well, not return in the playoffs. William Halpern, you're the guy. I really don't know at this stage. That means, I guess O'Donnell's going to get a better chance to play. But we are all of a sudden sliding about a bunch of games, too. We won 2 of the 4 against the Yankees. That's not bad. Let's focus on AA, though. Let's focus on AA. We need to adjust our lineup. Oh, my goodness. Sorry for all these roster moves, guys, but I didn't really realize we're going to get suffered with this much injuries here at this time. So Bill is going to take over as the outfielder while Steiner is out. Why do these injuries slap us so much? Every single year I get slapped by major injuries. Even when I turn them down a bit. Like, goddamn. Okay, AA. Let's get them to finish their season. There we go. They finished at 40-29. Damn, they might be a playoff team. Let's take a look at some player stats in AA. Just to see who could potentially be getting an upgrade. So, AA. Pretty solid for Brian Zinn. I think he was being used, as a reliever, but still pretty solid season for the rookie. Manny Colon. Decent numbers. Not the best. 28 games started. 16 quality starts is nice. Kellenberger is insanely good at AA and AAA, so the best non-major league player. Raymond Chu, pretty damn good season for Raymond Chu. 28 games started, 20 quality starts. Raymond Chu is a big guy for us. I think he's going to be a good major leaguer too at some point. Blake Smith, really solid season from him as well. Fuentes, in general, looks like most of the pitchers did really good. I'm going to kind of more skim through this, so Nick, I know you're going to take notes of this. Try and still let me know who you think should get an upgrade and downgrade. But looks like some good players had good years. Like Pedro Lugo had a really good season. He deserves an upgrade, I think. Theodore Ackerman was pretty good in 231 at-bats as well. Not too bad. Not too bad there, AA. I like it. Let's focus on AAA, I guess, now. We are at 100 wins now, 149. God damn. We hit 100 wins. We hit the century mark. Well, that's great. We're definitely going to be a playoff team because no non-playoff team makes the playoffs with 100 wins. Let's go auto on this. And Sixto has been injured for a few days. At least it's only a few days. Let's go auto on that. Gary Steiner will be eligible to reinstated in the next 4 to 5 weeks. That's not bad. That's not a bad ETA. Let's go auto on that. Okay, so AAA finishes 66 and 84. AA has made the playoffs, so that's actually pretty nice. Let's take a look at some AAA stats now. And then we'll go back to focusing on the majors. Let's see. AAA. Johnny Almont. Let's see, 30 games started, 11 quality starts. Not the best year for him, but he's likely going to be in the majors next year. Same with like Cora, Francisco. There's a lot of guys that should be in the majors next year. Like, we're going to have a lot of question marks on who we want to let go of and who should be replacing those type of guys. Ron Francisco had a good year, mostly as a reliever, I think, though. Delmon Rangel was a really solid reliever as well. Shartner was a really good player in his first season. Definitely due for an upgrade, I'd say. Darren Poles was pretty damn good. A lot of solid stats so far across double and triple. Kobayashi didn't have the best season in terms of average. That definitely needs to improve, but he doesn't have good vision. So maybe we need to get him to upgrade that as much as possible. But I'll still skim through this a little bit. Wow, Segura was terrible, but we had to call him up just to make sure we had the roster players. So there is AAA. Now we go back to the MLB. We're at 103 in 52. And we have only a couple more games left. We only have 7 more games left on the season. Can we hit 110 wins? Giancarlo Sixto is back. That is great. Let me go place on bench for a second. It's good we have a lot of backup catchers, because those guys can easily take those spots for now. William Halpern was getting a chance to play instead of Brad Thornton, but that's all right. I am excited for the playoffs, even though we suffered a couple big injuries, because I think our team is still built up to being really, really good for this playoff run. Obviously, it will help once those guys are back, because Trevino is a very solid second baseman. Ooh, 15-4 loss. I don't like that. Let's go through the series with the Angels. Sparbore's been injured for a few days. Let's just go keep active. And looks like at the most we get hit is 108 wins. Can we finish 108 and 54, which means we would have exactly double our losses in wins? No, we cannot. We lose 1-0 in our last game of the season. Wow, that kind of sucks because it's a team that we should have won against. 107 and 55. That's still an insanely good season. And we are the best team in the ALDS, or AL in general, I should say. And we'd likely be the best team in the NL too, but that's good. That is good. We're going to have home field advantage the entire playoffs. I like it. I like it. Boston got number 2. And then you have the White Sox at 3, Texas at 4, Yankees at 5. Yankees fell off a little bit. And then Houston at 6. And then in the NL, you got Pittsburgh as the number 1 seed. The Mets is number 2. Then you have Arizona as 3. St. Louis is 4. Cincinnati is 5. And Atlanta as 6. Let's take a look at our player stats in the major league level. Because this is where it's going to be really, really exciting. Garth Howe, really good season from Garth. Again, 13-5 with a 3 ERA and a 1.07 WHIP. He has yet to drop off. He is suffering a little bit of decline on some of his areas, but other than that, really good season from Garth Howe again, as we kind of always expect with him. Sammy Gomez, 4.2 is not terrible. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. 1.24 WHIP. He's developing really well. 33 games started, 20 quality starts. So Sammy was pretty damn good. That FIP is also pretty nice, so I like that. Carmen Osuna, he's an 87 overall already, and he's only 21. Jeez. Our pitching is insane. Let's see. 32 games started, 16 quality starts. So a little bit of a down year compared to last year, but still, I will take it. Let me actually take a look at the FIP number. The FIP is actually better than last year, so he was actually better in a sense. Silva, 15 wins for Pablo Silva. How did he compare to last year? Because last year we know he was trash. Not the best quality start-wise, but way better ERA, way better WHIP, and better FIP. So he improved. Bobby Hyde, who was getting used as a starter, I guess, in the second half because Barbori is just coming back from his injury. 19-8, almost 20-win season for Bobby Hyde. He didn't actually start any games, so that's good. But 19 wins off the bench. which is crazy. Or out of the bullpen, I should say. Really good FIP. Let me just swap the two of those around. Sbarbouri, 13 wins. How good was he? Decently solid. 15 quality starts. So I will take that from Harvey. I will take that. Tim Soto has yet to pitch an inning, but that's okay. Jack Birch, really solid numbers. Really good stuff from him as a reliever. Doug Rubel, and not as much, but that's okay. He is on the decline, I think. Ken Robert, really solid. He only pitched 11 innings, though. Pete Tavares came in and only pitched 0.1 innings, which is not really a lot, but at least he was not really that great. He only walked a lot of people, I think, because he didn't give up any runs, but he walked a decent amount of people. Guzman was really, really good. I like Luis Guzman a lot. And then Dennis Lake was great. That ERA got worse over the season. He is on decline mode now, but still a good year for Dennis Lake. Hopefully he has a good playoffs ahead of him as well. Let's take a look at that batting stats. Bill O'Donnell batted a .280 this year. 11 home runs, 48 RBIs, and 865 OPS. Not bad. Really good season, I'd say, for Bill, considering he was kind of more as a depth kind of guy. Holy shit, Ozzy all of a sudden got a ton of growth. Like, he was dropping off overall-wise. Like, I think he was an 87 at one point this season, but he's now a 92, and he batted a .297 this year. He had 28 home runs, 109 RBIs. Talk about randomly just finding your groove. That's a good season from Ozzy again. Not a surprise. Only an 847 OPS, which is his lowest in a few years, but still, Ozzy is the man. Living up to that contract for sure. Then we get the Sixto, who batted a .309, 38 home runs, and 115 RBIs. He's also still on decline, which is not ideal, but a career high in home runs, his third 30 home run season. He had a 40 home run season at one point. Second best in RBIs. Over 300 averages. Awesome. Almost a 1 OPS again. Sixto is the man. And the thing is that's awesome is he's getting paid less and less each year. So that contract has definitely worked out in our favor. But yeah, he's got a 10 WAR this year. Absolutely insane player he is. Michael Chu. Not the best, but he's in his first season and he's going to be taking, at least for now, that spot for Trevino. Once Trevino is back, then he will likely be a bench player, but still not terrible, but not great either from Chu. George Pinheiro, really good season from George Pinheiro. At .302 average, I like it. 20 home runs is nice as well. Yeah, I like that season. Bill Pineda, 119 RBIs from Bill Pineda. Where did that come from? He's going to arbitration and then he's a free agent. Oh man. This guy might be somebody that we need to lock up finally long term. He's a great home run hitter, and that's something we don't really have a whole lot of. His RBI count is pretty damn good too. Yeah, that was a good season from Bill. He's only 22, so I think it would be in our best interest to give him a decent chunk of years on a contract, because or else he could head to the free agent market, because he might have a good year next year too. Ray McMahon, 76 RBIs. I will take that. I'll take that. This is his first full season in the majors. Not the best on the average department, but I mean, I'll take the RBIs, the home runs as well. What else we got here? Josh Groves as well. Same type of boat. Not that bad. Brought in some 13 home runs. Not the best average, but this was his first full season pretty much as well. There we go. Ollie Gellman also had 14 home runs, so a good amount of home runs throughout our lineup in a .280 average, but he's once again a pending free agent. Is he going to finally leave after this year? There we go. And then our guys on the bench, Jeff Pipp, a .272. So I think we found Pipp's calling card, which is kind of being more of a bench option. Only played 39 games this year, but still, not bad. William Halperin batted a .318, had no RBIs and a home run, but he had a pretty solid showing when Sixto was hurt for those little tiny bit. So that's nice. Brad Thornton was really good as well in his short span. I like that. And then Pedro Carrillo didn't really do much, but he had a couple home runs and 6 RBIs. In general, I'm liking a lot of things from this team. We have to still take a look at award winners, league leaders, and also take a look at where we finished in terms of team rankings and like stats and all that. So the question is, let's look at the statistics first, team rankings. We are the best team in batting average, just barely edging out the Yankees. We had a 280, they had a 279. Awesome. We are number 1 in runs as well by 16 runs. The next closest team was the Pirates, who won the NL. So we are the best team in baseball. We also were first in hits by 1 hit. That's crazy. So the Yankees are a good offensive threat, even though they're a wild card team. Doubles, we are second, just 2 behind Arizona, who's also in a wild card spot, I think. Home run wise, we were tied for 3rd in home runs. That's something usually we struggle in, but this year we got good depth home run hitting, and that helped us go a long way. We didn't actually take a look at the injured guys. We'll take a look at their stats as well. We are number 1 in RBIs by 14 runs, which is crazy. Number 1 in stolen bases. Wow. Number 1 in stolen base percent. We are the number 1 team that took the most walks as well. In general, insanely good season in every single department I think this team had. If we end up losing, I will be really disappointed because this might be our best shot. We threw a good amount of errors, but not insanely amount. ERA, did this improve? It did. Okay, we went up to 11th. We were at 15th before, but it drastically improved a little bit to 4.05. I think it was at like 4.11 before. Obviously, we're still not as good as teams like the Red Sox in terms of pitching, so that's where the Red Sox might be able to beat a team like us. So hopefully it is not. Saves, we were number 1. We had 69 saves. Nice. Hits allowed. How are we in terms of hits allowed? 12th. Yeah, there is still a little bit of question marks with the pitching, but in general, everything else is really damn good. Like, we had a 660 or a 66 win percentage. The next closest team had a 59.3, which was Boston. So if we do not win this, I will be shocked. Literally, the AL is much better than the NL at this stage because the NL, Pittsburgh won the NL with a 562. And then there's 3 teams in the AL that are much better. So I think it's an AL team that wins the World Series this year. Hopefully it's us, not the Red Sox, because I could see the Red Sox definitely being a good team because of that pitching. Let's take a look at the league leaders. So Garth Howell led in ERA. Apparently Bobby Hyde led in wins. Dennis Lake led in saves. And Garth Howell led in whip. And then Bill Pineda led in RBIs. That's not what I expected. Sixto led in WAR. A lot of different players. I'll just skim through this for the most part, but I'll read any of our players out. So Sixto up there in batting average. 3 guys up there in hits. Cardenas, Sixto, and Pinheiro. Doubles, Pineda and Sixto were up there. Triples, Pineda was up there, so Pineda's got some good speed to him as well. Sixto number 1 in home runs, tied with Omar Cruz, who's also a catcher. RBIs was Pineda, but then you also have Sixto and Cardenas also over 100. So we had 3 of the 6 guys over 100 RBIs in the AL. Sixto up there in runs, same with Ozzy. Sixto and Pinheiro up there on walks. Sixto and Pinheiro up there on on-base percentage. Sixto and slugging percentage. OPS, Sixto was up there, but he was not number 1. That was Cruz. Wins, Bobby Hyde was number 1, which is crazy considering he never started a game. That's actually kind of nuts. Garth Howell was up there in losses, like least amount of losses. Same with Pablo. Dennis Lake got number 1 in saves. Garth Howell was number 1 in ERA. What else we got here? Hayden, Garth Howell up there in strikeouts. Love to see it. Innings pitched, Garth Howell was up there. Garth Howell was number 1 in whip. Pitching WAR, Garth Howell was not even in the top 8. Osuna was 8 and Hyde was 5. And in batting WAR, Sixto was number 1. Trevino was number 8, but his injury kind of set him back. He will be back in still 1 to 2 months, so that's still a big loss to his team. So there is that. Let's take a look at the award winners for this season. Dennis Lake, the Delivery Man of the Year award. So shout out to Dennis Lake for picking up his first thing of hardware, I think. And then we also have Sixto as the AL MVP this year. Let's go, Sixto. Okay, I had to make sure my Elgato was not frozen, but let's take a look at these awards. So yeah, Sixto winning the MVP is awesome. I believe he won one before, but I could be wrong. Cy Young this year almost went to Bobby Hyde as a reliever. What? Does that even make sense? Can a reliever actually win the Cy Young? Because I don't think that's ever happened in MLB, but then again, I don't know the history of the MLB that much, but Bobby Hyde nearly became a Cy Young winner off the bench. And he's got 1 year of ARB left as well before he heads to the free agent market. So we got a lot of money to spend, which is not great. But yeah, he didn't end up winning the Cy Young, but he came close to being our second Cy Young winner of the series. What else we got here? Batting title-wise, Sixto was a couple years ago, but he was not up there this year. Reliever of the year, we said, was Dennis Lake, which is great. He beats out Michael Tovar, who won last year. Rookie of the year this year went to Lincoln Dillon, who was a high-up pick. And he had a pretty damn solid rookie season. Yeah, 30 home runs, 98 RBIs. This guy's going to be really good. I think he was a top 5 pick. I can't remember exactly. It was that year that there was another guy that was generational that went. There was a pitcher also up there for rookie of the year in Abreu, or Arabu, I should say. What else we got here? Hank Aaron, nobody up there for us. Kind of skimmed through these ones. Anybody else win an award on our team? Or come close to it, I should say. Pineda gets a Silver Slugger for DH. Not a surprise there. Beating out Lincoln Dillon in his rookie season. Sixto won a Silver Slugger for catcher. Ozzie won one for first base. Trevino nearly won one for second base. If he didn't get injured, he would have won it, I think. Third base, nobody up there for us. Shortstop, Pinero was up there. And I think that is that. So we almost had Silver Slugger in almost every position, which is crazy good. I love it. I love it. So there is that. And I think the last thing to do is take a look at who we are going to be playing in the ALDS. It's going to be between the Yankees and Texas. And we know that the Yankees were good at one point, so that's a bit scary. I should actually look at the standings here quickly. We had 107 wins. Who was the next closest team again? The next closest team was the Red Sox at 96. So we had 11 more wins than the Red Sox. They scored 720, we scored and allowed 633. We scored 856 and allowed 687. Yeah, the runs allowed is a bit high, but the amount of we could score is insane. So hopefully that gives us an edge. We are really good on home fields, really good on the road, of course, really good against our own division. And in daytime games we were pretty good at. Nighttime games we were really good at, though. So there's all that if you wanted to take a look at the more in-depth stats. Okay, so are we going to be playing Yankees or Texas? Regardless, it's going to be, I think, a tough matchup because both those teams were really solid in the regular season. The Rangers had 93 wins and the Yankees had 88. Yankees are a team that doesn't score as super much amount of runs, I guess. No, they do score a decent amount, but they give up a lot of runs, I guess. While the Rangers are kind of in the same boat. Because they actually allowed more runs than us. So, I don't really know who I'd rather face out of the two. But let's see, who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? It's going to be the Yankees. Okay, well, we never played the Yankees before in the playoffs, so that should be exciting. They took both games against Texas, so they won 2-0. The White Sox also move on, not a surprise, because they won the World Series last year, and they were in the World Series the years before that. They'll be taking on Boston. So regardless if we get to the next round, we're going to be taking on a team we've already played. But the Yankees stay in their way first. You also have Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, Atlanta, and the Mets. Let's take a look at what that Yankees team is looking like. Hopefully we have a World Series in our bag this year. Hopefully we do. Okay, so their pitching is incredibly weaker overall wise than us. Not that it really matters too much, but they have Liberatore, who's a 79, Bibby, who's an 80, Escobedo, who's a 79, Patino, who's a 79, and Ian Anderson, who's a 78. All of our pitchers are better than these guys. Which is crazy overall wise, at least. Not necessarily in terms of statistics, but damn. And then their bullpen's still also not the best. It's okay. They got Gracefo, I think it's pronounced as, Tapia, Vogel. Also it has Segal, Sims, Elvis Polito, want to name Elvis, and Luis Villegas is their closer. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of their pitching, almost, to be honest. I think we should be able to beat them just based on that. Like, our offense should have a field day, hopefully. Hopefully. Let's take a look at their lineup. This is probably where it's a lot better, though. Yes. So they have Doug Duvall, who is an 87 overall. He's 31 already, but a good contact hitter, very good vision and discipline. You have Danny Boyd, who is already 29, but also kind of same boat. Good vision, good discipline, good contact. Jeff Cabrera, who is an 81 at 28. Very good contact as well, vision and discipline. So they might be a contact team. Fernando Nieves, he's also 31. A lot of older guys on their team. They also have Dominguez still. Brian Ramos. Yeah, I think they're a good contact team. That's basically where I'm seeing right now here. Which hopefully for us, we could find a way to stop that. Benny Montgomery, former White Sox. We played him a few years ago. Yeah, this guy's decent. And they also have Bo Naylor. So there is their batting order. And in terms of their bench players, they have Lolo Sanchez, who's also good contact-wise, especially against lefties, which we have a couple lefties. They have Charlie Knotts. Interesting. 22 years old. He's probably their best youngster coming in. And Jonathan Reynolds. And also a couple other guys in Jose Juarez, who has dropped down to a 64, but still has good contact. So he still might be able to do well. And Eldon Smith. So it's pretty old, this Yankees team. I think we should be easily able to beat them. If we're not, this game is cheese at this rate. But I know that if we do beat the Yankees, regardless, we're going to have a tough time in the ALCS because we go up against either a good team in the White Sox, who we've played multiple times already, or we go up against Boston, who is a very good pitching team and was the second best team in the entire league. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the ALDS against the New York Yankees as we look to get to the ALCS and hopefully beyond that. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.